Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rob Baez,
And I'm Terrence Taylor.
and this is Baez and Taylor. Simple
You
name.
good?
Yeah. No, this is my phone. So let's get right down to business. The topic that we will be talking about today are remarks made by Manny Pacquiao. Terrence, could you let us know?
Yep. So according to CNN, eight-time world boxing champion Manny Pacquiao has apologized after speaking outrage in the Philippines by saying gay people are worse than animals. So there was a quote here actually that said that according to Manny Pacquiao, this is what he said though. He said, "It's common sense. Will you see any animals where male is to male and female is to female? The animals are better. They know how to distinguish male from female. If we approve of male on male, female on female, then men is worse than animals. Well, man is worse than animals." So he basically he said what he said. He apologized on Twitter, but it's like, it's almost like you can't apologize for that. Like, there's really no coming back after saying something like that.
Definitely. And I know this is gonna sound kind of messed up, but the logic that he used wasn't so bad. But the fact that he said that they're worse than animals makes it seem like, oh, if you're gay, you're not a human being.
Exactly. I was just about to point that out too. Like,
and then cut you off there, but the issue isn't the fact that he doesn't like gay people, because it's very clear that he's against homosexual marriage, gay marriage, considering the fact that he's a congressman in his country in the Philippines. But it's okay to be against gay marriage or whatever, but the fact that you'd stoop to levels that low
and to say gays are worse than humans as if they're not human beings. Wait.
Oh yeah. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, he's saying gays are worse than animals. I mean, like, he's trying to say.
Yeah.
He's saying they're not human beings at all, though, and especially with gay marriage being what's it called,
legal in America.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's actually like a really big statement to say and everything.
Definitely, and this actually goes back to, I think this actually opens up like a bigger story, because when we were in the class, I mentioned a story and people immediately thought that it was Floyd Mayweather that said it. And in fact, it was actually Manny Pacquiao. So it actually goes into the story of how.
So it's also like it's also kind of like a stereotypical thing too.
Yeah.
Like, people
assume that Floyd Mayweather would be the one to say something like that.
Yeah.
I bring up Floyd, of course, because they were the two biggest names in boxing, a couple years ago. Then you had the fight that was lackluster, less than what was expected. But those are the two biggest names in boxing, and people put this personality on Floyd, where he's like very boisterous and very arrogant and loud, and where Pacquiao's supposed to be kind of like the golden boy, the one that's supposed to, like, the white knight, I guess.
Exactly. So people couldn't believe it. They're like, wait, Floyd Mayweather said that? We're like, no, Manny Pacquiao said that.
Exactly.
So, because how people's, Floyd Mayweather's just known for, he's just known for being a loudmouth sometimes and everything.
Definitely.
And, like, he just says whatever, whenever that he feels like it. But, so that's why people couldn't believe that Manny Pacquiao said this. So it's also like a stereotypical thing too, in a way.
Because Floyd, he may be a loudmouth, but he wouldn't say something like this. He would probably say something about how he just brag about how much money he gets.
Exactly.
Like the money team, whatever.
Exactly.
But he wouldn't say anything like this. And actually, there's actually a similarity I can think of in another sport, like in football, for example. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Tom Brady's thought of as like the Floyd Mayweather. He's thought of as like the high and mighty playboy type, even though he's married, of course. But people think of Brady as that type, and people think of Peyton as like, it's hard to dislike Peyton when, he's had a less than perfect past to begin with. So I feel like this is very similar between Pacquiao, Mayweather, and Brady and Manning.
Exactly.
So
another thing is too, you would just say, hey, Pacquiao, who are you to talk crap when you just lost to Floyd Mayweather? Like, what was it, about a year ago? Like, didn't you lose?
It was in like July or June, maybe. I don't remember.
It was in May. I remember, because Mayweather, he was like, you have to have the fight in May weather.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah,
so
of course.
I was like, nope, I remember it. So
yeah, so it was in May, and Mayweather didn't dominate the fight. It was, he won on the card like always.
Exactly.
Or by decision.
But
I
was gonna say, it's like a really big thing too. Like, it's just something you have to think about, because it's like, like, I have gay friends and everything too. Like, one of my closest friends is actually gay, so it was like, to say that he's not a human being, it's like, like, he's still a human being. Like, we talk to each other, like, like, we're regular people though. Just because, like, we both have different views on who we want to be with in life, it doesn't make them less of a person. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So it really is like a controversial thing to say.
And also the fact that he said gays are worse than humans, gays are worse than animals. Excuse me. Last time I checked, I don't think animals, like, let's say you have a horse. I don't think a horse is going to tell another horse, oh, you're less of a horse because you don't do this. Obviously, they can't speak.
Exactly. I'm like,
words, but you know what I'm saying. I know that kind of sounds a little cheesy, but you know, that's just the way I'm thinking. You know, so I guess maybe, you know, being worse than a human, in a way, isn't bad. But then again, if you're a human being, you don't want to be worse than a human being.
but it's also the factor too. Is like, you know, like we all make our choices and everything. Like people's like, oh, you know, sometimes being gay is not a choice, but still, we still all have choices that we can still make though.
Exactly.
And it's like, you know, like it's like, hey, Pacquiao, we're not focused on, you know, we're not focused on, you know, the animal environment and who's mating who and who's dating who. Like you're talking about, you know, human beings in general as a whole, as, you know, gays, lesbians, like people like in the same sex having, you know, he's trying to say that's a big problem, and you really can't come out and apologize for that because you said what you said and you mean it though. So you saying you're sorry is like,
oh no, he wasn't sorry for what he said. He was saying sorry for the fact that people were offended by it.
oh, so he's not even
That's what he's
apologizing. So technically, he's
apologizing
not even apologizing for saying, "Oh, I'm sorry that I think that you know gays are worse than animals and aren't human beings." Though he's just apologizing for because he offended people.
So yeah, actually, he actually did the same thing on Instagram and on Twitter, and I'm actually gonna read it if I can. He said, "I'm sorry for." He said, "Quote on this Instagram account, his last post: I'm sorry for hurting people by comparing homosexuals to animals. Please forgive me for those I've hurt. I still stand on my belief that I'm against same-sex marriage because of what the Bible says, but I'm not condemning LGBT. I love you all with the love of the Lord. God bless you and all. I'm praying for you." So as you can tell, he's very religious, which, you know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, and if he's against same-sex marriage, that's fine too. I mean, a lot of people are against same-sex marriage, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're homophobic, you know.
Exactly, but to say, you know, like they're worse than animals, to say like, you know, they're not human beings, like that's really like that's really like, you know, a really big statement that can, like, you know, is gonna affect a lot of people obviously too. That's obviously gonna hurt his reputation too.
Yeah, I was actually about to get to that. Now, if some random person said that, I'd be like, oh, what an idiot or whatever. Maybe not an idiot, but I'd be like, oh, whatever.
Exactly, like
fine.
we hear stupid stuff all the time. Obviously, we've heard it before.
Exactly, but the fact that he's like a messiah in the Philippines. He's a musician there. He's a politician there, and he's probably the most well-known athlete from that country probably ever.
Exactly, and like, you know, he's just very well known too. Like even in the United States, you know, because of that whole fight and everything. So
yeah, I mean, also he's a talented boxer, or was.
Exactly.
I don't know how he is now. He's lost a couple of his fights recently, but you know, this is just definitely going to ruin his public image. See, to compare him to Mayweather, Mayweather's public image isn't really ruined. It's just not really.
It's not ruined.
It's not great to begin with.
Exactly. I'm like, Mayweather is just Mayweather. Okay, he's always gonna flaunt and talk about his money and everything.
You know,
but
the way people perceive him, he's just an unlikable person. I'm not saying I don't like him.
I don't got a problem with Mayweather.
Might have been a point where I didn't like him, but now that I'm, you know, looking at it, I don't really think he's all that bad.
Exactly. Like, I don't got a problem with Mayweather
He's just
and everything.
Cocky. That's
you could be a cocky person though. There's a whole bunch of cocky athletes out there though. Like you could be stubborn at times. So I'm like
Tom Brady's kind of cocky. You know?
Exactly. Like almost everybody is cocky in their own way. Kobe Bryant is cocky in his own way. So like Michael Jordan used to be stubborn and cocky too.
Jordan's one of the most Muhammad Ali.
Exactly. Like everybody is gonna be stubborn and cocky though. It all comes down to like what are you gonna say in front of the people though? And most of those athletes, like they realize they're not gonna say something controversial like that. So to come out and say something like that you know is gonna cause controversy, like that's really like, you know, it's like, you know, bad on his part. Like it's not a good. He's not making like a good image for himself right now.
Definitely.
Because he definitely just hurt himself by saying that.
You know, if Floyd Mayweather were to say something mildly controversial, we would just be like, "Oh, that's Mayweather."
Exactly.
The fact that it's coming from Pacquiao,
but to view, you know, like this person that, you know, like
person.
Exactly, like people looked up to him and everything too, especially in the Philippines. You know, a lot of people look up to him. You know,
definitely.
So,
honestly, this is probably one of the most controversial things I've ever heard an athlete say, and a lot of athletes.
It really is though because like, you know, like a lot of athletes they don't really like give their opinion on like matters like this though, but like you know, it's different from like in the NBA when they had that whole you know, with that Black Lives Matter movement, they had the what was that, the I Can't Breathe t-shirts and everything. So it was like, you know, like
that really can't offend anyone, I don't think.
Exactly, like they're not,
maybe a few people, but not like
exactly bad. Like they might not be like, you know, speaking up about it and personally addressing it in front of the media, but you can see that, you know, they mean well and everything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're showing that like we do care and we do care and we are here and we know what's going on already. So
yeah, and there was some, and I also know there were a couple of football players who actually went on Twitter to say some homophobic stuff, but not like as bad as that.
exactly.
I actually remember Rashard Mendenhall, running back for the Cardinals Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
He actually tweeted that people shouldn't hate Osama bin Laden because they don't know him or something like that. He actually did do that. So that might be a little,
that's another controversial thing to say too.
But that happened a while back, so I can't talk about that. But this is, I don't know what to say. I mean, you could be against same-sex marriage, whatever. I don't care.
But you can't come out and say, they're worse than animals, though.
Yeah.
Like they shouldn't be considered human beings.
And then he ended up saying it makes sense after that. And then I don't know. I don't know how you can come back from that, man.
You messed up. Yeah,
you
Pacquiao.
messed up.
You just messed up. Okay, you're done, Zo.
Yeah.
You're done.
All right, so I know this isn't live, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Rob Baez here.
Terrence Taylor.
And we will see you next week.